So now we're ready to start adding questions to our form. So you can add a description here if you'd like about what the form is for. A lot of times if it's a quiz, that's not necessary, but if this is a form for somebody signing up or a feedback form, you may want to explain, what the purpose of that form is. Okay? And it is tell you that it's automatically collecting the email addresses. That was the setting that we put on. Okay? If we want to change it, we can click it here or go back to the settings wheel. So this first box right here is all set. And to add a question, we're going to start using this menu. And again, if you hover, it shows you the things that you can add, and it'll tell you what is each tool. So this plus at the top is to add a question. So when I click it, it's going to add a question below the question that I am editing. So if you see this question that we're working in right here is kind of popped out a little bit, that's how you know that's the one that you're working on. Every time you add a new question, it defaults to a multiple choice. But if you use this pull down menu, these are all the types of questions you can add, and we're going to go through each of those. So when we are creating a form, most times we do want to know the name of the person. So even though it is collecting email addresses may not be indicative of the person's name because they can have some other name there that's not their actual name, or if they usually have like first initial, last name for students, and then if there's more than one student with that initial or last name, then you can get confused. So usually the first thing I would do is the first question I would want to make name. So I would make that a short answer question, and I would just simply type here name. Okay, then they can put their answer here. Now every question that pops up is going to have these options at the bottom here. So this first one is to duplicate. So if you have a question that's very similar and you want to duplicate it because you don't want to retype all of the information in there, you can do that. And then you can still make changes to the question that you want. So if you made a mistake and just want to start over, you can track it right here. This one is one that you're going to use a lot. It's required. So right now, when you put a new question in, it's not required. So if you want it to be required, that if they have to answer it, you need to click on this little toggle switch. So you need to do that for each question. And a lot of times people will say, well, why do you need to do that? Why can't you just kind of put it on for all of them? But sometimes when you're filling out a form or you make a survey, you will ask questions that you want them to answer. But then a lot of times at the bottom, you'll put one of those, is there anything else you would like to add? Or do you have any feedback? And maybe someone doesn't. The reason is that one not required. So the reason it's individual for each question is because maybe you want some required and some not. Now, there is an add-on, if you're familiar with that, called All Questions Required. And I can show you that later, that if you are going to do a quiz that all of them have to be answered, then you wouldn't have to go in individually and turn this on. So right now, I'm good with this question. Okay. And I want to put my next question in. So the next question, whenever you use this add a question, will go beneath the question that you're editing right now. So I will click plus, and now it adds another question. So again, I have these choices, okay, and this is how I would change the options. So now I'm going to click on this, and I want to go to the next one. So the difference between short answer and paragraph is that short answer is really only for a couple of words, yes, no answers, a name, but anything requiring even a complete sentence, you need to use paragraph because there's not enough room for short answers. So I'm going to make this one a paragraph, and I'm going to come up with a question. Tell me how your day is going. Now it doesn't look like there's enough space there, but it does have space because as you add, you'll see that space will be put in there. I want to make this one required. And for some of these questions, especially the ones coming up next, they look different from the editing side to the user side. So at certain points during the making of the form, you may want to preview this. So at the top, there is an icon that's a little eyeball, and I'm going to click on preview. This is how the form will look when you send it out to your user. Okay. This little star, the red star, means that it's a required. It tells them up here. This is a required answer. Okay, and this is exactly how it's going to look. Now, if you put in a paragraph, as you keep adding, it will let you add text. It would stop with short answer. So right now, I want to go back to editing. I'm not finished with it. So in the top right, there is this pencil icon that will bring me back to the editing mode. Now, I also mentioned that when you add a question, it always adds it underneath the last one that is highlighted. So here is my last one if I want to add another question. But let's say I put them out of order. I made a mistake, or I forgot to put the name one in. You can actually move the questions. When you're on the question that you're editing, you will see at the top these 6 dots. And when you put your cursor over it, it changes to a crosshair. If you put it over so that your cursor changes and then you click on your trackpad and move up a question, this is how you can put them in a different order. Okay. Now this is different from the shuffle question order setting because that will do it randomly. This is if you are making something and you didn't like the order it came in. So I'm going to put it back and I'm going to go to my next question type, which is multiple choice. So I'm going to leave it on that. So let's say I ask, what color is the sky? You'll notice as I'm typing here, an image comes up. You can actually put images in here as well, and you can do it for your options. So I'm going to show you putting in images as well as text, or you can just put in images. So to put in your choices for the multiple choice, you type right on option. And now you can do your answers. Over here, you do option again. So you can put in as many as you want, option. Now you see on each one, it says add option or add other. Okay, add other would be, it would add a line that says other and then give a space for someone to type it in. So let's say that day the sky has some orange in it, right? And I want to put add other. So then if they click other, and I will show you this in the preview, they can type in their answer. As you put your answers in and you see me hovering up and down here, you see a couple of things. You see those 6 dots again. So that's if you want to change the order. Maybe you started putting a bunch of multiple choice and realized you had the answer as A every time, so you wanted to move it. You also see some X's here, so if you change your mind, you can take something out. You also see this little image icon. So you can click on this image and it will bring up this search bar. Now, if you have something saved in your drive, you can click here and find your picture. Okay. If not, I'm just going to go to Google and do a search, and I'm going to type blue. Okay, when I find the image I want, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to select it. And I put in the image. You can get rid of it if you don't like it here. So you can put answers as text. You can put answers as just pictures. Maybe if this is a world language class, you're asking which color is azul. And you can just put in 3 or 4 colors boxes and they click on the one that they want. So you can have both text and pictures. You can have text only, or you can have pictures only. So that depends on the type of question that you're asking. And I'm going to make this one required. Now I'm going to show you what that other would do. So what is your favorite color? And maybe you put in a couple. And this would be a good idea when you want to put other, because maybe their color is not listed here. I'm going to make it required. And to see how that would look, I'll show you with the preview. And if you go down to this question, what is your favorite color? Now you can click other, and the student can put in pink or whatever other color they want. Okay, I want to go back now to editing. And this time when I go to editing, it asks me if I want to leave this site. Changes may not be saved. They don't mean changes to the form because this is the preview mode. And because I typed something in there to show you, it actually changed the form as if you want to submit the form. So here you would say, I do want to leave. And I want to go back to the editing. And if you look now, nothing's changed there. Okay, I'm on this last question. I'm going to hit plus again. And this time I'm going to add a text box question. So it added it and it kind of went down there. And I think I added it in the wrong place. So see how it added up here? So now I'm going to just click it and move it. I thought I was in a different spot on the form, where I really wasn't. I wanted under this favorite color question. Still didn't quite get it there, so I'll do that. One more time. Okay, let's try bringing this one up. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this question, and I'm going to choose checkbox. Now the difference with checkbox is you can have more than one answer. So when it's the circles and it's multiple choice, it's only one answer. When it's checkbox, there can be more than one answer. So what are favorite foods? And you can just type in a bunch, and this way they can answer as many as they want. Okay, you have the same options for the pictures, the same way to delete, and if you want to make it required. Now, if we go back up to our multiple choice, what color is the sky? And I want to do some more editing there, so I just click on that question. And you see the answer key. This is here because when we did the settings, we made this a quiz. If you don't put that setting on, you won't see this here. Okay, but if you wanted to self-grade, you can use this feature. So if you click on the word answer key, now you can choose the correct answer. So I'm going to say that this one is the correct answer. Oops, blue. This is where you can add points. Make it as many points as you want. And you can also give answer feedback. So that means when the student answers this question, if they answer it incorrectly, what would you want to say to them? So you can type, sorry, try again if you are allowing them to resubmit, or maybe just, sorry, that's the incorrect answer. If you click on correct answer, then you can type in, yes, that's great, correct answer. Now again, this is if you want them to know that right away, if you want them to have feedback, okay? This link option is something that you can add something there to help them, like a tip. So if you want to add a video or you want to add a document. So if you are allowing them to resubmit, you could have on the incorrect answer, sorry, try again, or sorry, watch the video below to help you get the correct answer, and then attach the video here, and then this would all help them. But again, it depends how you're using this form. Maybe if you use this as a review for a test, that's a great way to do it, because then you have the resources there to help them too. But if this is the actual test and you just have to grade by answer, then you wouldn't want to do this. I'm going to save for now. Okay, and now you see this because you're editing, right? The user wouldn't see that. They'll just see the question. Okay, I'm going to do one more question type in this video, and then we'll talk about the other ones after that. So I'm going to do drop down. A drop down is basically the same exact thing as multiple choice, but it saves you some space. There will be a drop down menu where the colors are. So I will preview that for you. Where is the sky? Now what's nice about using the drop down menu is if you have a long form and you have a lot of questions, it saves you some space. I'm going to make it required. So I'll show you in preview. Okay, so here is a typical multiple choice, and maybe it's taking up all the space, especially if you put pictures in. But now this is a drop down. So this is all the space it takes. To get the answers, you click there, and now you click on the one you want. So if you have a lot of questions on your form and you don't want it to go on, and it can go on for a very long time, but if you want it to be a little shorter, then you maybe want to make your multiple choice a drop down so you can save some space. Okay, I'm going to go over the next question types in the next video.